The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark.
Glory to you, Lord.
Having met the crossing, Jesus and his disciples came to the land at Gennesaret and tied up. No sooner had they stepped out of the boat than people recognized him and started hurrying all through the countryside and brought the sick on stretchers to wherever they heard he was. And wherever he went, to village, to town, or farm, they laid down the sick in the open spaces, begging him to let them touch even the fringe of his cloak. And all those who touched him were cured. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
My dear brothers and sisters, you can see right from the first reading, you compare that with the second the Gospel, and then what is happening today, and you realize how far we have gone away from God. We talk about the Ark of the Covenant, which was really the greatest thing for the people of Israel. They carried the Ark of the Covenant right from Sinai onto the Promised Land, and even when they started building up kingdoms for themselves, when they had kings, the Ark of the Covenant was the most important thing for them. And what was there in the Ark of the Covenant? It was just the rod of Aaron and then the 2 stone tablets. They honored it because it represented the presence of God. Whenever they went to battles, they carried the Ark of the Covenant with them, and they always believed that God was with them. And it was so. God was with them because they believed that the Ark of the Covenant really represented God in everything. And then in the Gospel, we find Jesus himself. It is not only a representation of God. It is not the Ark of the Covenant. It is something greater than the Ark of the Covenant because it is God himself dwelling among us. That's what we celebrate in Christmas. That is Emmanuel, God with us. And we hear in the Gospel today that wherever he went, people brought the sick. They rushed to him. He got a lot of popularity. People were always rushing to him to listen to his word, to receive healing. The Gospel according to Mark expresses this right from the beginning of Mark. We have been hearing of healing of the paralytic, healing of the person, the man who had leprosy, healing of several people. And today we hear in the Gospel that many people were rushing to him. Whenever he stepped in the village, whenever he stepped in town or in a farm, people would even lay their sick in the streets, in the open air, and just said that if they could only touch the fringe of his cloak, they will be healed. So a lot of things have happened, and people have trusted in Jesus. They believe. And more than the Ark of the Covenants, he is really the center of the lives of the people. And you see how people were rushing to him. And after his resurrection, he promised us. And he said, I am not going to leave you. He said, I will be with you to the end of time. He said, I'm not going to leave you orphans. I'm going to send the Holy Spirit. And I give you my body, I give you my blood. It is something greater than the Ark of the Covenant, which we celebrate every day. We do not only celebrate it, but we partake of it. Because we receive Jesus in our hearts, and we become another Ark of the Covenant because we are carrying God within us. We become another Mary because we are pregnant with Jesus. We become another Christ. And Jesus exhorts us in his words in the Gospel according to Matthew chapter 11, verse 28. He says, come to me, all you who labor and are heavily burdened, and I will give you rest. 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 7 says that, cast all your burdens unto me, for I care for you. But the disheartening thing is that he is always present to us. Just like Jesus was present to the lives of the people. And whenever he appeared, people rushed to him. And now we have him all the time in our hearts. We have him in the tabernacle. We have an opportunity to be in his presence, to touch him, to touch the fringe of his cloak. Not only to touch, but to receive him and let him find a home within us. But do we find time for him? Do we still have that urgency of rushing to him like the people used to rush to him? Do we still have that attachment to him like the people of Israel who were attached to the Ark of the Covenant? Even though it was not God himself, it only represented the presence of God. When people saw the Ark of the Covenant, they saw the clouds around, they said, this is the glory of God. God is among us. And now we have God himself living within us, living among us, being present in all the tabernacles of all the churches in the world. But how many people still rush to him? How many sick people still go to him to receive healing? How many people who are still broken still rush to him to receive the healing that they need? And he has assured us that he is with us. This is my body. He does not say it looks like my body. He does not say that it is a representation of my body. He says, this is my body, this is my blood. And we have an opportunity to rush to him. We have an opportunity to create a deeper relationship with him, because he really wants to create this relationship with us. But are we really urgent in doing that? Are we really eager to get into that deeper relationship with him? And the people today in the gospel are teaching us what we are not doing. They rush to Jesus. They seek him. They want him to heal them. They want him to be in their life. They do not want to let go of him. Whenever he enters the boats and he crosses to the other side, people go there by foot because they really want to create a relationship with him. They want to get into him. They want to absorb everything of the words that he's teaching them. Are we still eager? Are we still enthusiastic to be able to listen to him? Are we still enthusiastic to bring our issues, our problems, our brokenness to him? Or do we say, no, we can handle them by ourselves?